is on being proactive versus being reactive. And I can usually tell what kind of a person you are at your interview. When you and I interview and we talk career, in my mind, I see you as a proactive person. If you're talking job, if the word job slips out of your mouth, then I tend to put you in a reactive box. What's the difference? Alex, read the definition of proactive for me, please.
Proactive, creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened. People who make things happen. Hate to lose, goal setters, focused, self-motivated, achievers, winners, top producers, highly competitive.
Thank you. So Zig Ziglar says you're either a meaningful specific or a wandering generality. If you're a proactive person, you are a meaningful specific. What does that look like in practice? We'll talk about that in just a second. But to me, it's somebody who's intentional. You wake up every day with a game plan. You have things written down that you're going to accomplish today. You have a plan. You're not just wandering around. Again, we talked about this before. If you want to take a trip to California, we all know you need to head west. That's a wandering generality. Gets in the car, let's go west. Meaningful specific sets the GPS on the exact destination. Get in the car, you're going to start at I-10. But where you're going to California could dictate where you go once you get to the border. So you're a meaningful specific. It's not safe. Being proactive is not safe. You're taking risks. You're spending money. Val, do you have your koozie and towel? Would you hold that up?
I think everyone's seen them.
This is spending money before you make money. That's a great example right there.
And this too.
And that,
That's a very good example too.
My
Mikey Fernbach's
magnets,
got those as well.
I gave a couple to somebody at Hart who goes to church with me, and he gave it to a lady, and I just got a contract because of that.
Excellent. What was your investment in that?
I don't know, $80 for
$80.
Astros.
So let's say you did
all
it.
the magnets.
Let's say you did it for 10 years. That's $800. And you got a listing. What's the price of the listing?
Low, but it's okay.
What?
200.
Times 3%.
Yeah, it's not-
$6,000.
But she works at Hart. That's what I'm going on.
Okay. It's not safe. You have to be willing to take risks. And it costs time and it costs money, but you have to buy into the fact that maybe someday somebody will call you off your magnet. You have to buy into the fact that 10 minutes a day uploading people into your CRM will eventually pay off. If any one of you has ever been able to track a sale or a listing or a lease through a CRM or some type of follow-up program, I promise you, you'd buy in. Proactive people are willing to take risks. They're willing to work without being able to necessarily see the result directly in front of them, but they believe that that work will produce the result. You're committed to the cause. You set the GPS. You don't stop until you get there. I've talked to a lot of you about this. Self-motivated people are typically proactive. Goal setters, proactive. Hate to lose instead of love to win. Everybody loves to win, right? Hate to lose is you refuse to accept losing. That's somebody who's very proactive. We're going to talk about what that really looks like on a day-to-day basis in just a minute. Okay? By the way, we'll use the gym expression again. We go to the gym, those of us who do, and there's an expression, no pain, no gain. I'm going to teach you an interesting story. Most people refuse to endure the pain because they're not committed to the result. But why do we go and work out to endure that pain? Because we want a different result than we already have. And we're willing to go through that pain. Last week I got a cortisone shot in my shoulder. Had an MRI and all that stuff. Wore out my shoulder over the years. The pain was so bad. I mean, I'd lay in bed and just throb from my hand to my neck. Just unbelievable. Can't lift anymore. Can't grip the bar. The pain was unbearable. Somebody says, you should get a cortisone shot. And I said, okay, great. They said, man, it hurts. Anybody ever had a cortisone shot? Does it hurt?
yeah.
By the time I went to the doctor, I was like, give me 3. Just make it hurt. If that's going to make the pain go away, I will endure a little bit of pain, because what's the difference between pain and suffering? Pain is temporary. It's like broke and poor. Broke is temporary. Poor is permanent. I don't mind being broke if there's a goal inside. I'll spend some money to make some money. I'll take that shot if it's going to make the pain go away. Because I was in suffering. I was debilitated. I couldn't do as much as I wanted to do. It's the same professionally. No pain, no gain. The suffering is you're not making enough money. The suffering is you're not getting your goals accomplished. The suffering is, what am I going to do if real estate does? That's suffering to me. That's demoralizing. You guys spent all that time getting a real estate license. You picked a broker. You come to work. You're working a plan. You're depending on this money so that you can be successful in life. Not only is failure not acceptable from a suffering standpoint, but from a demoralization standpoint. You got to hate to lose. Don't love to win. Everybody loves to win. 2-year-old kid loves to win. In fact, it starts in school, right? You show up for school, you get an attendance award. We're trained to love to win. Learn to hate to lose. No pain, no gain. Okay, reactive. Somebody read the definition of reactive to me. What's reactive?
Acting in response to a situation rather than creating or controlling it. People who watch things happen love to win, but typically will not pay the price to win constantly. Sorry.
Same thing.
Goals are good, but not strived for. Not written down, need to push from time to time. Great team players, somewhat competitive.
I love reactive people. I think they're great. They're not going to be overachievers. They're not going to be top producers. They're not. But most of us work in a reactive state from time to time. Here's proof. You got a plan for today. Phone rings. You got a great appointment. What happens?
You have to go.
Reactive. Reactive is okay if it's priority reactive, not spontaneous. Not this. Watch poor reactive. Slow day, it's raining outside, friend calls up, hey, meet me for happy hour. Reactive. Yeah, I got nothing going. Okay. Not okay. That's when you should really roll up your sleeves and go to work. That's when you should say, let me make 5 more calls, maybe I'll catch up to you. Now, if you're having a great day, you're having a great life, business is rocking, you can go do that. But that would be an example of a stimulus to a response that's reactive, not proactive. Okay. Reactive people tend to be wandering generality. They believe in goals, but they won't take the time to write them down. I'm not calling you out, but ask yourself right now, do you have written down goals? Do you have written down goals?
After the last meeting,
For the
yes.
day, for the day, very good, Bob. For the day, the week, the month, do you have written down goals? Do you have an agenda? Do you have a game plan for the day? All of you guys have seen my calendar. And a lot of times you'll pop your head in to talk to me for 5 minutes and I'm a little bit frustrated. I apologize in advance. I'm working a schedule. I know what I got to do from minute to minute to minute. That's being proactive. That will always produce results. Okay? When you are working reactively, you're taking it safe. You take very little risk. You invest very little time and money into your business. You're not 100% committed. Usually you're about 70% committed. And you can tell on that because if I was to pull one of you aside, any one of you aside, and say, what is your plan for this month? Where are you advertising yourself? What are you doing to self-promote? Guys, what are you? Are you employees or independent contractors?
Independent contract.
What does that mean? What does that really mean?
Self-employed.
That means you don't get a paycheck. That means there is nothing you can do short of production that's going to make money or write you a check. Now, because you're independent contractors, you are what? In business for yourself. You are Erica Corey, Inc., Caitlin Saragusa, Inc. Get it? It's not my job to advertise you, nor will I. I will promote Camelot, which you are a part of. So if your bio is strong, if your CRM is strong, if you've loaded up with your clientele, we will continuously promote that. You know what I'm waiting for right now? I can't even launch phase 2 of what I want to do this year until we get the website right. We want to start advertising CamelotHouston.com. I want to start putting a billboard up, CamelotHouston.com. Real estate experts. intentional. Driving them to our website so somebody can go, hey, I like the way that guy looks. I think I went to school with him. I want to do business with him. I like where she lives. I want to do business with her. Do you realize that there's big real estate companies that their people almost make a living off their websites? They promote them so much. We can't do that yet. We want to start doing it in June. Help us be intentional and proactive. So be proactive on your side. If you're not investing money into your business, you will fail. Mike just gave you a statistic. If 80% of the people that bought a piece of real estate, listed a piece of real estate, did business with a real estate professional at one time, would use them again, and that number is now single digits of the ones who actually will, what do you think the problem is? You're not reaching them enough. You're not reminding them enough. That takes time, energy, and a little bit of money. Not a lot. Donna just told you a story about magnets for $80 that got her a listing. I don't know how many deals Bao probably got from those koozies, but I promise someday somebody's going to show up and say, this koozie made me call you, or reminded me that you were still in the business. When you think of advertising, think of one important term, shelf life. You give somebody a bottle of wine at closing, nice gesture. Bottle of wine's gone, do they remember you or the wine? No. Probably not. By the way, bottles of wine are risky. You don't know if somebody's a recovering alcoholic, if they don't drink, if they're allergic. You gotta be careful with alcohol.
Yeah.
Food too. Somebody's got a food allergy and you just gave peanut brittle. Great,
Well,
good
anything
job.
that's consumable, you shouldn't give because
I think-
they'll forget you.
Say that again.
Anything that's consumable.
Consumable.
Yeah.
Consumable, disposable, same word. Consumable, disposable, no shelf life. Okay? Think shelf life. Okay. People that are reactive get deals accidentally. They tend to be busy but not productive. At the end of the day, you should go home. Put your head on the pillow. Think back on your day and say, you know what? I might not have made any money today, but it was a productive day. And I got to tell you, I was very frustrated last year. I told Melanie from June through December, I was busy. We talked about that actually. Busy, not productive. I just moving stuff around on my desk. Answering calls, not going anywhere. I hate that. Busy will eventually become productive, so at least be busy, but define busy as being productive. Do things intentionally that do produce results. If you don't know what they are, please set an appointment with Karen. Come talk to me and I'll tell you exactly what you should be doing. I had a lunch meeting with Alex last Friday. I told him some things he should be doing. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Your pain will become suffering if you don't get intentional. Your pain will become suffering if you don't make enough money. Who in this room is absolutely on track financially from where you thought you'd be by the end of the first quarter? Raise your hand. Good.
You're doing okay.
That's a real paltry number, though. I know I'm not either. Okay? So I got to get a little more proactive on my side as well. Okay, let's turn the page and let's talk about what we can do specifically. Because you know what? One of the things that I hate about the real estate colleges is they do a great job giving you a real estate license, but nobody comes out of real estate college, nobody gets their real estate license who has a clue how to make $1 in real estate. I still can't believe it. That'd be like getting a driver's license, you don't know how to drive. Think about that. If you have a driver's license, go drive now. I don't know what to do. Here's some proactive ideas. Pass out 5 business cards a day. I'm not picking on you, Alex, but I'm gonna talk about something that happened at lunch. Alex and I are at lunch. And I said, Alex, what are you doing intentional today? He said, well, I don't know what do you mean. I said, have you passed out any business cards today? He said, no. I said, when I was your age in real estate, I went to lunch at a different restaurant every day. I looked for the best waiter or waitress I could find. I sat in that person's section, and I gave them 2 to 3 of my business cards. And on the back of my business card, I wrote, each referral equals $1,000. Now, I said, Alex, I'm going to prove this to you right now. Did I not?
No, you did.
Guy's waiting on us, young kid, pretty nice kid. His name was Justin. That's Justin. You got a minute? Standing at the table at Loop and Shepherd in 59. I said, Justin, let me ask you a question. You work lunches here? He said, yep. I said, you can overhear people's conversation without eavesdropping, right? He said, right. I said, how often do you hear people talking about business at lunch? He says, almost everybody. I says, how many times do you hear people talking about real estate? Here's what he says. He said, I really can't answer that. He says, I've only been here about 3 weeks, but at my other, hear that a lot. Now, let me ask you a question, Justin. If you knew of a real estate professional and you heard somebody talking about real estate, would you be willing to pass somebody's card out? Absolutely. I said, Alex, give one of your cards. What did Alex say?
I don't have any.
Man, they were in my car.
I'm gonna run to my car.
Now watch this. I already
I didn't
picked.
go-
I already picked on you. It's okay.
Yeah.
You got cards on you now?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go back and talk to Justin?
No.
I would do that today. Waiters overhear conversations. They hear everything people are talking about. What have you got to lose? I'm going to tell you a little story about your business card. Okay? Your business card is the cheapest form of advertisement you can have. And it's a great extension of who you are. Anybody ever been to China?
Country.
My dad was
You have,
Chinese.
Ashley.
My dad was Chinese.
When you hand a business card to someone in China, it's a big deal. It's 2 hands,
It's Korea too.
right? So it's an extension of who you are. Carry your business cards with you. Post something real estate related on social media every day. Find out something interesting. People will remember that you are a real estate professional if you teach them something. Maybe about the Braves Bayou project. Maybe about some builder who's doing something great. Figure something out. Where are you going to get this information? Use some business journal. Take
You
5
guys
minutes.
that share each other's. Like Ashley posts stuff all day long and I share it. Donna's good about sharing.
Yeah, but
Melinda
where do you-
shares everything.
Where do you get your content?
I'm telling you.
Sure.
Houston Business Journal.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
Real estate section of the Houston Chronicle. Cron.com, real estate.
all right.
Nancy Sarnoff. Ralph Blevins and Nancy Sarnoff. Absolutely. I mean, these are great sources.
Rock Mortgage is a good source.
That's nice.
Rock Mortgage. Listen, guys,
We post material all the time.
And Rock Mortgage.
this is what we do with our CRM. Melanie is constantly posting stuff on Camelot Realty's website. Take that content and blast it out. How are people going to know you're a professional if you... Okay. Question. How does somebody know you're a professional? What's the easiest way to provide information to someone to prove you're a professional? This is simple.
Communicate.
Tell them something they don't know. Tell somebody something they don't know about your profession. How do you get to know people? You share stories about yourself that they don't know. They do the same. It's called building a relationship. But here's the relationship you're trying to build. You're trying to establish yourself as a professional. You do so by teaching people something they don't know. I told you guys something earlier today. What did I tell you Mike was able to get Josh Elwood at an interest rate?
3.85.
And every one of you went, post that. He's an FHA buyer. Who knew rates were under 4%? We just had a buyer get under 4%. There's never been a better time to buy. You know how many people out there think rates are still 5-6%? They don't know. They don't know unless they're actively in the market. Do you know how many people you could push into the market if they thought rates were in the 3s? Yes, Donna.
This buyer this weekend is dealing with some loan officer because I came in late to the picture. I reprogrammed them into talking to his son-in-law, and the interest rate's gonna already be lower. I don't understand it. I didn't know there was a difference in loan officers, but this company that he worked, his company is, I think they are pretty darn low.
Very good, very
So I would
good.
give a little plug in.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Donna.
Donna.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You get an extra donut.
Okay. Every day, guys, find 3 people you can text. Paige is very good at texting people. Text 3 past clients every single day just to say hello. I texted a couple people over the weekend. I said, hey, how's the new house? I was driving around near Cottage Grove, and I thought about the kids who just bought on Darling Street. And I texted them, how's your new home? Hope it's working out. Just keep in touch. It's not hard to do. Put groups together if you want. By the way, who would like to be proactive instead of reactive? Raise your hand. Who would like to know how to do that? Come up with targets. See that bullet point right there? Targets. I will know that you're intentional and proactive when you come to me with targets. When you come to me and say, hey, look, I found these 3 builders. I found these 3 banks. I found these 3 attorneys. Help me write a letter. Help me reach out to them. Tell me what to do. When it comes to developers, attorneys, investors, banks, oh, by the way, other top producers, I told you that 2 weeks ago. How many of you have looked up top producers in Beaumont or Katy or Dallas? It's a brilliant idea. They're not going to drive down here to learn inside the loop. By the way, somebody in Katy, Sugarland, Pearland, find top producers over there and say, who do you refer your people to that head to Houston? I'm an inner loop expert and I will give you 25% of my commission. What have you got to lose? How many of you have explored new lead generators in the past 2 weeks? Good. Lead generators. How many of you are reading an industry-related book right now? Real estate-related book. Industry-related. Great. When you're done with that, find a book on sales. Find a book on closing techniques. Dale Carnegie, Tom Hopkins, Zig Ziglar. These are great books to read. Look, all that stuff breaks down into 1 or 2 categories. Read them all. Whistles and bells, meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes is the actual science of a sell. Whistles and bells is how to present that. Dale Carnegie does both. By the way, I'm going to teach you guys something. Sentence structure is critical. And this is the science of Dale Carnegie. Fact, bridge, benefit, tie down. Okay? When you practice this type of conversation with every single thing, you will overcome objections and you will create the yes momentum. At the very least, you'll build better relationships. Who wants to see this in practice right now? Give me any fact about any piece of real estate. Give me a fact, Morgan. Something you own. Just tell me a fact.
My appraisal went up.
Let's pretend we're trying to sell your house. Great build out. Or let's take your Hyde Park property.
Yeah.
Over the top build out. Great finish level. Okay. We can do this all day. Okay. I'm going to take that fact, I'm going to make them agree with me, and I'm going to do it fluidly and smoothly. Watch. Fact, bridge, benefit, tie down. Now, you're the buyer and I'm trying to sell your property. And you've been looking at condominiums all day with me. We roll into your unit at Hyde Park. It has unbelievable finishes, including a Bertazzoni stove. At the $300,000 price point. Is that normal?
No.
It's not, is it? By the way, for those of you who've sold $300,000 properties, you get GE Profile, maybe Monogram. You get Sears Special. You don't get Bertazzoni. Okay? It's about a $5,000 stove. It's an overkill, but it's gorgeous. And it makes a statement, doesn't it? Watch this. Let's say Erica's my buyer. Erica, we've been looking at properties all day. Have you noticed the finish level on this particular property? The Bertazzoni stove, the flooring, the countertops. A lot of attention to details have been paid. This builder really went over the top.
Right.
As a result, when you go to sell this property someday, and for your personal enjoyment right now, it's going to stand out above the competition. That's important, isn't it? Who's going to say no to that? No, that's not important. I want cheap. Get me cheap. You can do that with everything. You can do that with area, front-loaded garage, everything, 10-foot ceilings, light, trees, landscaping. When you build this yes momentum, it's really hard for them to argue with you. And then when you've done that 7 or 8 times inside of a property, they go, yeah, but the master bedroom's too small. You say, how do you turn that into a positive? I agree with you. Never disagree with an objection. I agree with you. But other clients that I've dealt with have found that the finish level was of greater benefit. As a result, they really enjoyed living there and they went to sell it. They got all the money because everybody doesn't need a huge master bedroom. You'd agree with that, wouldn't you? Who's going to say no to that? Now you can put it on someone else. Fact, bridge, benefit, tie down. Yes, momentum. You can learn that in Dale Carnegie. You can learn that in any meat and potatoes book on selling. Whistles and bells is how you present that with enthusiasm. Okay, you can turn that off.